Welcome, dear friends, to the Taviren, a Wheel of Time podcast hosted by three gentlemen for whom the very wheel itself bends around. Without further ado, here are your hosts, Bill, Rob, and Rich.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Taviren, a Wheel of Time podcast. I am your formerly solo host, Rob.
And I am Rich, back from the dead.
Welcome back, Richard. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Did you go ahead.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. You've been doing a lot of things. I know that you've been training. How's that been coming along?
Oh, it's going pretty good. I'm not as in much pain as I have been lately, but
so your body's getting used to you jacking it up so much.
Yeah, but after like 3 weeks, it's gonna get jacked all over again. But other than that, it's been fine. So
how was your holidays?
It was good. Very busy.
Very busy. Yes.
It's just been nuts working part-time at another place, just over the holidays, just for the fun of it, at a GameStop.
Oh, okay.
So my time has been very spread out all over the place.
So you're our resident expert on all things Funko Pop, right?
No. I try to avoid that side of things as much as possible.
Oh boy. Yeah, I had a great holiday too. Had some family come. All my family's mostly local, but we did have some come in from out of town. We had
nice.
One early friends kind of Christmas dinner on the 21st, and then we had our traditional Christmas dinner on the 25th. And for those who don't know, my birthday is on December 27th, so it's like a whole big weekend extravaganza for me, which was fun. Yes,
I know that.
I'm one of those kids.
Yeah, happy birthday to you,
Mr. President. We should have had Bill send me a happy birthday song. That would have been good.
Yeah, he would have done that.
He would have done that without me asking.
Yep.
So, Rich, I know it's been a few weeks for you, but we've done a few chapters. We are all the way up to chapter 37, The Long Chase. We've been following, I think since you and I last talked together, Perrin and Egwene got captured by White Cloaks.
Yep.
Rand and Matt finally made it to Caemlyn and have befriended the local innkeeper at the Queen's Blessing, Basil Gill. That was the one of the last words they heard Tom say was Queen's Blessing in Caemlyn, and so they made their way, and now they're trying to plot their next course of action.
I actually really like this chapter that we're going to talk about. It shows a lot of crazy things that happens. Yes,
exactly. But you know what? It's been a few months, but we actually have a new iTunes review.
What?
I know. It's been about 2 months, but it's all good. We've had a lot of good numbers on YouTube, some good comments on YouTube, but we do have a new iTunes review to report on. This is yes, it is. This is a 5-star review. It is from Judge Tempest, and it is entitled "Exactly What You Need." Starting with the Wheel of Time, I had to listen to the first few chapters several times to understand who is who and what was going on. Searched for this pod, and it got me over the initial hump of the world building. Absolutely mind-boggling how good this book series is, and perfect time to get into it with the TV show coming. Entertaining group, good chemistry, and highly recommended. So thanks a lot, Judge Tempest. We appreciate the 5 stars, and we appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much.
Yeah. He says we have good chemistry. That's awesome.
Yes.
I hate everybody.
My chemical imbalance seems to flow well with everybody.
That's right. Well, consider the fact that we lost Bill, so it's just the two of us now.
I know. Well, we can report that that Bill and his wife successfully added to their party. They have another baby girl. So Bill is now outnumbered 3-1, women to men. So he's gonna have to work that out. But much love and happiness to Bill and his family.
Yep, everybody's doing good. I just talked to him yesterday.
Awesome. Hopefully, we may be having him back in another month or two. We'll see what comes about that. But we should be able to run a full 3-man press, hopefully another month.
Yeah.
So in Wheel of Time news, I don't know if you've been monitoring the Twitter feeds, but it seems that there have been some more casting announcements.
Yes, we actually did get to see who they picked, and I'm trying to pull it up now. I
Well,
can't
here's
find it,
the kicker. Here's the kicker. Before you say anything too much, there are potential spoilers to those who have not read the books. If you are following us and this is your first read through, and I think this might spoil a few things for you, Rich, because you've only read the first 2 books. It's one of those catch-22s where I can tell you that they've announced castings of another Aes Sedai and a couple of warders, but I do not want to divulge who these characters are or what they do in the books.
Yeah.
Because A, they happen down the road in the book series, but it seems as though they're going to bring the beginnings or the origins of those characters in this first season. So they don't normally show up this early in the books, but for pacing and storytelling in the TV show, they're going to bring some of these characters in early, and I don't want to spoil what their purpose is.
Yeah. I mean, all I know is they're an Aes Sedai and 2 warders, so I knew that.
Correct.
And that's it.
Yeah, I know. Like I said, I don't want to spoil too much, but there are certain storylines that it looks like that they may want to expand upon in the first season regarding Logain's storyline. Because as we know from where we are right now in this first book, there was a false dragon captured and being brought to Caemlyn, and his name was Logain. Essentially, the long and short of it, from what we know of the book that we've following up so far. But it looks like that Rafe and company want to kind of expand upon that storyline in the TV show, and these new characters are key cogs in that storyline.
Yep.
I also noticed on Twitter that there's the last time that I had a podcast, or last time that I recorded, I mentioned that they had the Voices of Time hashtag where people were recording themselves reading the first paragraph to the books. It looks as though that there is another movement called, I forget exactly what the wording is, but what they're doing now is people are taking turns reading each paragraph of the book.
Oh.
So they're up to they were in the high 20s, so they might have been a few pages in. Basically just Twitter narrating the book themselves through fans of the series. I think that's just awesome. If you're on Twitter and you follow hashtag Twitter of Time or all that, it's a great community, and they're doing some really cool things, ramping up and getting everybody geared up for the upcoming TV show. So check it out if you can.
It's happening. This TV series.
I know. There's one speculation that it might come out later in 2020. That would be insane.
Yeah, it would be.
I mean, to think about it, what was that?
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, I know. We'll see. I mean, I don't want them to rush. I want them to put out good quality. I don't want them to rush it. My words are escaping me, guys. I am so sorry. I'm having trouble speaking this morning. We are up to chapter 37. That is called The Long Chase. We've moved from Matt and Rand, who were in Caemlyn. So we are at chapter 37, The Long Chase. We had left Matt and Rand in Caemlyn. They're trying to figure out their next course of action. And we have switched perspectives. We are now following in the shoes of Nynaeve Almira. Last we left her, she was with Moiraine and Lan, and they were making their way towards one of the boys with the coin. As the last time we met these guys, Moiraine had advised that she can still track all 3, but the one with the coin she can follow on until the end of time. But she caught a whiff of the scent of the 2 boys who had lost their coins, which of course we know are Matt and Rand, and they were following that trail. They are now west of Whitebridge, chasing after Matt and Rand. As usual, Nynaeve is upset. I mean, that's one kind of thing we'll find out in this book series, that more times than not, Nynaeve is upset at somebody. This time she's been left to, quote, mind the horses while Moiraine and Lan discuss the next step. So she feels like she was... I know, she feels like she was put into a corner while the adults go talk. Yeah,
basically. And I agree with you. She's mad like 90% of the time. Like all the time.
It's what keeps her going. It's like she'll find... She may be content, but she'll look for things that will piss her off. That's just kind of how she is. It's such a great character, and there's reasons why she's like that. But for right now, I do kind of agree with her. She's been Go, you know what? The adults are going to talk. Go watch the horses. Go sit in the corner, watch the horses. And she takes an affront to that. She, dare you tell me to mind the horses? What do you think I am? That kind of attitude. So
yeah, she has that attitude a lot, but I think doesn't that kind of go away as you further get into the books? I think
does. It does. I mean, I love talking with you, Rich, but there's some things I gotta keep catching myself on. But no,
you're okay.
She has a reputation. Let's put it this way: her reputation precedes her. So
gotcha.
when we get to chapters and we realize we're following Nynaeve, we know that there's a slow boil working somewhere there. We're just waiting to see what the trigger is.
Gotcha.
Excuse me. One thing that we found out is that she was tracking Matt and Rand based off that she came into their vicinity. They don't have the coins anymore, so she doesn't have this main track on them. But if they pass through an area where the boys had been, she can pick up on the scent and head in that direction. This was one of those cases where the last chapter they broke off to go follow this scent, and it seems as though somewhere in between chapters she lost the scent. So now they've decided that they're going to go after Perrin, the one person that they know still has the coin. So while heading west, Moiraine picks up where Perrin's scent is, and the party breaks off to the north and aggressively pursues his trail. Because if we remember, Egwene and Perrin, way back when, were trying to figure out the proper way to skip over White Bridge and head straight to Caemlyn. And when they had met Elias and they told him that they were heading to Caemlyn, he thought it was kind of funny because they were about 100 leagues to the north. They overshot by a wide margin. Their path leads to the north. So Moiraine and Lan and Nynaeve decide to, Nynaeve follows. They head
Yeah, I was like,
north.
wait a minute.
Yeah. She follows
She
along.
she didn't decide Jack. She got pulled.
So what are you going to do? Just leave me here? I'm tending the horses. Leave me alone. So they decide they're going to head north, and they're going to go after the one Emmonsfielder who is not separated from his coin.
Well, to an extent, he was not separated. The
To an
coin's still in the
extent,
same vicinity, yeah.
Yeah, so they start making their way north, and she realizes I lost the scent. But then later on in the book, she's like, oh, wait, I think I got it. Let's go. So later that night, as they're making their way, Moiraine senses that he has regained his coin. All will be well. That's right, because they made their way north. Aes Sedai puts on the face of unflappable, unbreakable kind of calm. As they're making their way north, and she first loses the scent of the coin, she basically just says, "I've lost the scent," or I can no longer sense it, or something to that effect. And of course, Nynaeve is freaking out and jumping up and down and all up in a tizzy. What do you mean you lost the scent? We went this way to go get these two guys, and we go north to get this guy, and you lost his scent too. What am I doing here with you? What good are you anyway? Anything.
Complaining the Nynaeve way.
Complaining for the sake of complaining sometimes.
That's right.
But all is well, as Moiraine puts it later that night. She and I don't have the book in front of me to turn the pages, but it seems like literally they were like about to fall asleep or laying down and resting, and just literally out of nowhere, Moiraine rolls over and says, "I found his scent. All is well," and rolls back over. I think something to that effect.
You're right. I think you're right.
Almost
it's
like
kind of a weird, like
creepy.
Yeah.
Not that Aes Sedai. Yeah. I'm sorry. What was that?
I'd be creeped out.
I know. Well, I mean, once again, as the reader reading this for the first time, we don't know everything about Aes Sedai, so their sleep patterns aren't regular sleep patterns. They don't have to get. If I don't get my 8 hours sleep, I'm going to be rather cranky.
I would be.
I would be too. But as we'll learn, Aes Sedai with their warders have certain powers as far as fatigue and resting and all that. So I can see it being kind of creepy to someone who doesn't know that, to see this woman just kind of roll over. We're good, and roll back. Whatever. She says so. Whatever.
I want that power.
Oh, I know. Instant fatigue removal. Give it to me. In the middle of the night, Nynaeve is awoken by Lan. The iron clasp touches her on the arm or something like that, and it's like the iron grip of Lan startles Nynaeve. And basically, he wakes her up and says, "We have a mission. I have a job for you. We need your abilities." And she's like, "Oh, okay. We have a stealth mission for you." It's like, oh, then wasn't what I thought you needed, but okay, whatever. we come to find out, he takes Nynaeve and he leads her to Moiraine, and we find out that one of the Emond's Field boys, the one that had the coin, is being held captive and is surrounded by approximately 200 white cloaks in a kind of encampment down on the ridge. And according to Moiraine, she said, "We need you, Wisdom, to infiltrate the camp and cut the horse lines." They've learned that she's good in tracking because, as we found out earlier, she was able to track down the Warder and the Aes Sedai without their knowing. Obviously, she has skills in tracking and in stealth because she snuck right up on them. And Nynaeve thinks to herself, all right, one of my boys is down there surrounded by 200 white cloaks. They want me to go in unnoticed, go up to the horses and cut their lines. Absolutely 100%. Yes, I'll do it. One of the endearing things about Nynaeve is unfailingly loyal and actually just as much as a giver, as in she just will do anything for those that are close to her. And to her, everyone in Emond's Field she considers close to her. So she doesn't care if it was 2 white cloaks, 200 or 200,000 down there. She was going to go down there and do what was needed to get one of her boys free. So Lan compliments Nynaeve on her stealth and tracking ability. It's kind of funny how she takes this in, because there was a meme going around Twitter for a while where it was a picture of one of the Twitter people who was a big fan of Wheel of Time drinking this big, huge kind of stein of beer. Or not even a stein, but one of those long tubes of beer that you'll see sometimes. And people were making different kind of memes about how they feel about the Wheel of Time and how they just drink it up. And I was thinking this scene was a perfect one where it could be Nynaeve and she's drinking up Lan's compliments.
Yeah, I can see that. She's very smitten by that man. You
get she's so angry, and she's so angry. She's like, but then all of a sudden it's like, oh, he thinks I'm good at tracking, is he? It's just kind of funny how it just she can flip the switch like that. She could be so angry, be like, oh, he thinks I'm good,
because she's in love.
She loves him. No.
Yep.
All joking aside, it is a big compliment when a warder, when not just a warder, but Lan himself is complimenting your ability to be stealthy and quiet. Obviously, she has some skills in that department.
Yep.
So, next note says Nynaeve goes full stealth mode, like Liquid Snake or Solid Snake, and yes,
she has the box on her head.
That would be
what's happening.
If there is a box, even in the scene, that would be awesome. Just going around the woods in a box. But she sneaks up on a pair of guards patrolling the perimeter. And I think it said she got up to within 10 feet of them. And
yeah, she could almost touch them.
She could have just casually walked up to them and they would not have noticed. Because they're so regimented and so, step, 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 step. All is well. And, pivot, tap, step, step, step. All is well, So she watches this routine about 3 times and figures, these jackasses aren't going to deviate one little bit. I know exactly how much time I have. I know exactly what spaces I can get in and out of. These guys aren't protecting shit.
Yep. And she thinks they're pretty stupid. I mean, if those guys are the ones out patrolling the sidelines like that.
Exactly.
Obviously, they're not the best. Like they're not part of the cool kids club.
I mean, if someone's coming in guns a-blazing, yeah, I'm sure. But if someone's going to sneak up on them and not even...
something.
I mean, the fact that they were just telegraphing their exact movements, timing, and everything. And she just watched it for a few rounds and it's like, all right, you guys are now pointless. Whatever. And she's able to zip in and then, see what happens. She's able to make it into the horse line. And all the horses but one is asleep. And the first horse starts to kind of whinny and shay and get a little nervous. New person, what's going on here?
Freaks out.
But then Nynaeve starts to freak out because if the horse wakes up, it wakes everybody up, she's done. Her cover's blown.
Yep.
But
I can imagine the Solid Snake, from Metal Gear Solid, all of a sudden that music.
That's when you get a little exclamation point comes over the horse. Bring! You're like, oh shit. Not like you can go in guns a-blazing and then kill all the horses. That would kind of be counterproductive. And I do not condone anything of that nature. Just saying. So her job, as we find out, is to cut the horse lines. Not cut them completely off, but cut them almost to the ends, because she's being told that there's going to be a disturbance night, or Moiraine's going to create a disturbance, and that she wants the horses' lines to snap off once this disturbance happens, so that all the White Cloaks will be worried about gathering their horses, or there'll be too much chaos, and that Lan could slip in and grab whoever's out there being captive.
Yep.
So,
a distraction.
Diversion. Can I do the diversions? Nynaeve is able to calm that horse down and cut the tethers to all the horses, and she gets down to the last horse. And you know who the last horse is?
Bella.
Bella. It's the creator herself, lovely Bella. Oh, I gotta do another tangent.
Go for
all
it.
All about the Twitter and the memes, but someone gave another Wheel of Time meme in which Paul Rudd is the creator.
Oh yes,
and I had to send it to Bill.
He hates Paul Rudd, which I don't understand why.
I don't understand
I love
it either.
him.
I mean, I don't love or hate, but I don't know where the unseething hate for Paul Rudd came from. And I mean,
dare you hate him?
Is Paul Rudd anti-Queen? I don't know. Was he for Brexit? I don't even know what his political views are. But I had to send it to Bill. It's Paul Rudd. I mean, he's Paul Rudd. He's Ant-Man. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I love that man.
But I had to send it to Bill. I'm like, look, Paul Rudd's the creator. How awesome is that? He comes back. He's like, grumble, 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 grumble. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Any time to tweak Bill, you got to go for it.
Oh, I do all the time.
Anyway, back to the real creator, Bella. So when Nynaeve realizes that Bella is among these horses, it immediately triggers, oh my god, Egwene's alive! Oh my god, this is incredible! So that completely invigorated her. That completely got her back on track. She's on board. Now she realizes, I need to get out 2 horses. Because also the thought is, Lan's able to sneak in and quietly get to the center of the camp to rescue whoever's there. But odds are, whoever's there is not going to be in a shape to stealth back out.
Yep.
She now is going to have to get horses, plural, to help out the now 2 prisoners that they're going to be rescuing. So Nynaeve can clearly sense that Egwene is here now. I think the book even mentions, now that she realizes Egwene's alive, she can sense where she is. And she's not sure why. Hey, she said she secretly curses Moiraine for telling her she can channel. Oh, Egwene's alive. Well, I can sense her over in the center of the camp. Oh, God damn it, Moiraine. Why'd you tell me I can channel now? All these crazy thoughts are now going through my head. God damn it, Moiraine. Once again, in the midst of some good news, she finds a way to get pissed off.
Yeah. It's all pissed off.
You know. So as Nynaeve wakes and soothes Bella, and the other horses start to awake, and I think the other horses seemed jealous and wanted some of that love that Bella was getting. So I think the horse that was next to Bella was like, well, I want some of that. I don't get any of that.
Yeah.
I know. I get Sir A-hole White Cloak that just does his normal duty. I want some love. I thought that was kind of a funny little anecdote that Jordan kind of threw in there. Because the horses are people too, Rich.
That's right. Bella is Paul Rudd.
Bella is Paul Rudd. Oh my god. We need to start the hashtag Bella is Paul Rudd movement.
Yes. Yes, I just started that. That's all me.
Credit to Rich.
Yes.
So, as Nynaeve starts to leave with Bella, and a White Cloak horse, like I said, she's got the wherewithal to realize that now she needs 2 horses. She's waiting for, I guess they told her to get back out of camp, but she's like, Nynaeve decides to wait in camp for the disturbance or the diversion. So she's waiting for Nynaeve to ... Then all hell breaks loose. Lightning crashes and completely disrupts everything. I love some of the kind of narrative descriptions that Jordan uses for this kind of lightning storm. If I don't recall, the earth was being rent from just the sheer power of the lightning striking against it. I think one of his other literary terms was that it was more light than dark. Even though this was in the middle of the night, there was so much lightning that it seemed to be daytime.
Yeah, and it was pretty good blast there.
It was, yes. The sky ablaze. Horses running everywhere. So the plan starts to perfectly fall into place. So as lightning just tears a new one through this camp, all of the other horses lines snap and they just start going ape shit all throughout the camp.
Yeah, she kind of just, started some shit. Didn't tell what was going to happen. Just said, I'm just going to do this.
Yeah. And another reason for Nynaeve to get pissed off. Damn, why didn't you tell me it was be lightning?
Yeah. Scared the shit out of everybody.
But then Moiraine would say, I told you it was a diversion. They were diverted, weren't they?
well, yeah, but my eyes.
The truth they tell may not be the truth you think, Richard.
That's true.
There was also one good scene here where Nynaeve is trying to get both horses out of the encampment, and they're kind of freaking out as well themselves. She's trying to hold both horses together so they're not scurrying off in two different directions. And I think she was getting stretched apart. Bella was kind of keeping with Nynaeve, but the other horse was just like, I'm out of here. I'm going this way. And she had to be able to bring them back together so she didn't literally get drawn and quartered. One power may have been used or not used there unsuspectingly to help keep the horses in line. That might be a fairy tale on my end, but it's very possible that soothing animals could be something that Nynaeve has the capability of doing. It's a good little action scene as she's trying her damnedest not to get literally her arms and legs ripped off, trying to keep these two horses in check.
Yeah, it was Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd wanted a little drama. She's able to keep the horses together. She's making her way back, and then one of the final lines of this chapter, she's starting to hear some baying and howling, and she knows what that means. But then the last line says, "Then the wolves arrive." Dun dun dun. End chapter.
Yep.
Now, us as the readers, knowing that Perrin is in the camp, are not as concerned that wolves are there, but Nynaeve, not knowing how Perrin is with wolves, not knowing that there was as many wolves in the area, just trying to calm down two horses, now sees a pack of wolves. You got to think that she's just fear and terror.
I mean, Lan did tell her that they were there.
Oh, did he mention? Oh, he did.
Yeah,
he did mention there were wolves.
Beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, you need to be careful. There were wolves about tonight, but they didn't do anything. They're way off in the distance. I think they were waiting.
That's right. They were waiting for the diversion too.
Yeah, they knew what was going to happen.
I guess, but my point was the horses didn't know. So she just got done calming the horses down, and now she's got to worry about the horses freaking out all over again. All in all, this was a good chapter. It's good. You got the beginning where the Nynaeve and Lan banter, and Nynaeve Moiraine banter. Then you get a good little stealth mission, Solid Snake, under the box. To everywhere to realize to her joy, realizing Egwene is alive, and the action that is from the lightning storm and Nynaeve trying to get the horses out of there. So you get a little bit of everything. This is like a little modicum of a whole story within this chapter. We have the dialogue and the banter. Then you have a little sneaky stealth mission. Then you got action packed there at the end.
Yep, you get to see Moiraine flex her muscle just a little bit.
Oh yeah. I'm not doing this scene any justice by just saying it was a lightning storm. It was just an incredible show, and I'm sure with the budget that Amazon is giving Wheel of Time, this scene, if they do it, is going to just look awesome.
I mean, as you can imagine, it was not just like a one crack lightning and it flashes just whatever. It's a big deal.
It was a big deal that it was creating just trenches in the ground. The earth was, like I said, the earth was being rent under the power of just the lightning smashing against it. The sound must, in the dead of night, the sound must have just been deafening. You got horses running everywhere. You got all kinds of stuff. You got Paul Rudd jumping around, going in from ant form to real form to giant form. You got all kinds of stuff happening, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what are your thoughts on this chapter?
I liked it. It was a good opportunity for Jordan to show the power of Moiraine, what she did, and it even gave Nynaeve a little bit of more purpose while she was with them.
Yeah, we know she's not a one-trick pony.
Yeah. She found Bella. They were able to get her. Obviously the creator. They needed Bella.
Yep.
Overall, it was a good setup to what's going to be happening next in the next chapter that we talk about.
Well, I'll give a little preview. Chapter 38, Rescue. I think this is the first time that we're going to get the same event from a different perspective. I mean, that's the literary form that I think Jordan will use going forward. But this is the first time where it's the same timeline from a different perspective. So that's
And
a good literary.
We're starting to see the characters start to come back together.
Yes.
Piece by piece. So that's good.
Yes, yeah, it's a good chapter. We'll just see how Perrin and Egwene handle a random lightning storm happening on them. We'll see what happens with that.
Yep.
So
crap my pants.
We have Code Brown, alert.
Yep.
So that will take us into the readings with Rob. I decided to take some of the early chapter banter between Nynaeve, Lan, and Moiraine.
And now, the ta'veren present to you Readings with Rob.
Chapter 37, The Long Chase. As they came up on a small rise, barely enough to be called a hill, he sank to one knee, pulling her down beside him. It took her a moment to see that Moiraine was there too. Unmoving, the Aes Sedai could have passed for a shadow in her dark cloak. Lan gestured down the hillside to a large clearing in the trees. Nynaeve frowned in the dim moonlight, then suddenly smiled in understanding. The pale blurs were tents in regular rows, a darkened encampment. "White cloaks," Lan whispered. 200 of them, maybe more. There's good water down there, and the lad we're after.
"In the camp?"
She felt more than saw Lan nod. "In the middle of it, Moiraine can point right to him. I went close enough to see he's under guard."
"A prisoner?"
Nynaeve said.
"Why?"
"I don't know. The children should not be interested in a village boy, unless there was something to make them suspicious. The light knows it doesn't take much to make White Cloak suspicious, but it still worries me."
"How are you going to free him?"
It was not until he glanced at her that she realized how much assurance there had been in her that he could march into the middle of 200 men and come back with the boy. Well, he is a warder. Some of the stories must be true. She wondered if he was laughing at her, but his voice was flat and businesslike. "I can bring him out, but he'll likely be in no shape for stealth. If we're seen, we may find 200 White Cloaks on our heels and us riding double, unless they are too busy to chase us. Are you willing to take that chance?"
"To help an Emmons Fielder? Of course! What kind of chance?"
He pointed into the darkness again, beyond the tents. This time she could make out nothing but shadows. "They're horse lines. If the picket ropes are cut, not all the way through, but enough so they'll break when Moiraine creates a diversion, the White Cloaks will be too busy chasing their own horses to come after us. There are 2 guards on that side of the camp, beyond the picket lines. But if you are half as good as I think you are, they'll never see you." She swallowed hard. Stalking rabbits was one thing. Guards, though, with spears and swords? "So, he thinks I'm good, does he?"
"I'll do it."
That was Readings with Rob. If there's a passage in an upcoming chapter you wish to have read on the podcast, simply tweet us at ta'verenpod with your request.
And that was Readings with Rob. Hope you enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it.
I'm sure you did. Oh boy. Anytime I can get Nynaeve land scenes, I'm gonna probably take them. It's too much.
Just do it.
Especially these early ones. It's just too much. So Rich, you got any big... We are recording on the final day of 2019. We are on the precipice of a new decade. Rich, do you have any plans for the new year?
Finish video games that I play. Stop buying so many. Get completely jacked as I work out all the time.
Bring home the blue ribbon or trophy or whatever they give you.
It's just gonna be participation trophy. That's fine. But no, that's pretty much all I got. What about you?
Oh man, I wish all of our families health and goodwill this year. And yes, I need to work on my video game backlog and work on my Netflix backlog. I still got to watch all these shows, The Witcher, Mandalorian.
I haven't done that either.
I haven't touched any of these shows. I've heard good things about all of this. But we're making our way through. One show that I am watching, and I'm going to recommend this to everybody out there if you have Apple TV, called Truth Be Told. It is a true crime story. It stars Octavia Spencer and, oh God, I'm blanking on his name, but it's the guy from Breaking Bad.
Aaron Paul?
Aaron Paul, thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Aaron Paul and I'm saying Paul Rudd. I almost said Paul Rudd. He's everywhere.
Paul Rudd.
But it is a really good true crime story. Check it out. That's what me and the wife are going through right now.
Awesome.
All right, so we will be back next week. We are going to go rescue ourselves a blacksmith's apprentice and a budding young Aes Sedai in prospective training.
Yeah.
All right, Rich, I'm going to go pat down Bella and tell her how much of a good creator she is.
Awesome. I want to go find Paul Rudd.
Go find Paul Rudd. Tell him he's got some Brits he needs to impress. They're not too impressed with
That's
it. All right, guys.
Have
a good one, everyone. Take care. See you next week.
See you next week, and have a great New Year's.
Happy 2020, everybody. Bye.
Woo-hoo. Bye.
Now that our heroic trio have left the familiar confines of the two rivers, they find themselves being chased by all sorts of denizens of the Dark One. Our party has been scattered, and the boys separated from Mograine and Lan. Let us hope that luck, or some other force, can keep them safe. Bill? Billiam! Put that dagger down! You have no idea where in creation that's been. No, Rich. I don't have an extra cloak with me. Maybe if you didn't ride your horse straight into the Arenelle, you wouldn't have this problem, For crying out loud, Robert, I know that girl from Berlon said weird things to you, but you shouldn't let it get under your skin so much. What are you, 11? You all remind me of a younger version of myself. Why, back in Watch Hill, I would...
Hello, friends. This is Troidal Power, host of the Troidal Power Presents the Power Playthroughs podcast with Troidal Power, a podcast where I, your host, Troidal Power, play through games in a powerful way. And I'm inviting you to listen to Troidal Power Presents the Power Playthroughs podcast with Troidal Power, a podcast where I, your host, Troidal Power, play through games in a powerful way. You can find it and a lot of other weird shows at probablywork.com.
This has been a presentation
of the We Can Make This Work
Probably Network.
Follow us on Twitter
At probablywork
For more of our questionable content.
Also, we have a website called probablywork.com.